Hey folks, this is Kalani. Patch 1107 introduced a few new ways to gear up which can help you get your ults caught up much faster, or if you're returning to the game after a break to get ready for Season 2, you can use these gearing options to skip over most of the slow early stuff. There's also an incredibly powerful ring that everyone, even the mythic raiders out there, will want to pick up, and it was just hotfixed to be even better. So let's go over how you can get to item level 619 very quickly on a fresh character, and which of the new gearing options will be valuable to everyone. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. The Siren Isle introduces a handful of new gearing options that can help you quickly get freshly dinged characters geared up. So whether you want to level a new character and gear that up, or if you have some ults that were left behind, you can get a good set of starter gear very easily by visiting the Earthen Quartermaster on the Isle. They're going to sell item level 584 veteran gear for every gear slot, and it will only cost you some flame blessed iron. This is the new currency that comes from completing content on the Siren Isle, and you get quite a lot of it from just completing the weekly quests, so it's not difficult or time consuming to get a good chunk of this currency. All of these items are warbound, so you can pop them in your warband bank or just send them over to the ults that you want to use them on, which means you can farm the island on one character but gear up all of your others at the same time. Veteran gear is kind of the baseline for a lot of outdoor world content, so being able to quickly kit out your characters in a full set of veteran gear can help you skip over some of the more tedious gearing options we've had up until now. All of this veteran gear can be upgraded to item level 606, and the highest tier of required crest for that is only carved, which you can get quite a few of on the Siren Isle as well, and from other easy activities. Pretty much every weekly quest here will reward you with a bunch of carved crests, so this gear is a great starting point for anyone who isn't over that 606 item level mark already. Now after you've completed the Gem weekly quest on your world map, you'll open up the Storm Mode Special Assignment weekly quest on Siren Isle. This one is really easy too, it just takes a little bit of time. You just have to fill up the bar by killing monsters in Storm Mode. Be sure you pick up some handy explosives before heading out, as they can deal a whole bunch of damage and make this weekly quest much faster. When completed, you'll get a box of gear that contains a random piece of item level 597 champion gear, so that will be a nice little upgrade from the veteran vendor gear. Have you ever come across a duplicate piece of gear and wished you could combine them together to create something more powerful? Well, that's exactly how today's sponsor works. Castle Duels is a unique PvP card strategy game with tower defense mechanics. Collect and upgrade over 30 unique units to craft your ultimate deck to face off against other players in real-time PvP combat. Summon your cards, merge them to create more powerful minions, and demolish your enemies. You can join a clan of like-minded players and take part in tournaments. There are global leaderboards to show off your skills, as well as special events and game updates to keep things interesting, like the Winter Wonderland holiday event that starts up on December 19th, where you can collect decorative cards, earn unique rewards like the Frost Knight, and try your luck with a festive roulette to earn legendary prizes. To download Castle Duels, use the QR code or the link in the description. What I really enjoy about Castle Duels is that it's not just about summoning the most monsters. How you position units and how you decide to merge them can trigger special battle boosts to make your characters even more powerful. Download Castle Duels today by scanning the QR code on screen or using the link in the description, and you'll get a special starter bonus that will give you a leg up on the competition. Another huge gear upgrade that everyone will want to get their hands on is the Circe Circlet. This is a new ring available in patch 1107, and it's super simple to pick up. All you have to do is work your way through the introduction questline for Siren Isle, and you'll get the ring basically for free. It's very low effort, but the ring has some huge power potential. It doesn't have any stats, instead you'll be collecting and socketing special citrine gems into your ring. You can use 3 of these gems at a time, and they will provide you with a variety of bonuses. The ring is going to start at item level 639, making it a great pickup for solo content players especially. That's an item level on par with fully upgraded mythic raid loot, and you basically get it for free. You can upgrade the ring all the way to item level 658, which is way beyond anything you can get in Season 1, and it's actually going to directly compete with heroic raid loot in Season 2, so you can get a piece of heroic raid loot for free that will continue to be powerful for the next 6 months at least. To upgrade the item level of your ring, you need to complete quick weekly quests on Siren Isle. It will take 6 weeks to fully upgrade the ring, but it should be an upgrade for most players already at item level 639. So pick up the ring, upgrade it every week, and you'll have a very powerful piece of gear for very little effort. Now, if you heard that the ring isn't any good right now because we only have access to really bad gems, you're kind of right, but the dev team have stepped up and changed how gems are acquired in a very recent hotfix. Instead of limiting us to just 3 gems per week, you can now keep doing the excavation events over and over again, and they will reward you with new gems each time, so you can keep running them until you have all of your gems, or just the gems that you want. So make sure you pick up your Cersei Circlet on any character you plan to play in Season 2, get your best gems from the excavation events, and keep upgrading it as the weeks go by. Now, another easy source of gear is the Anniversary Celebration event. This event will be available until early January, so there's still plenty of time to take advantage of these easy gear sources and collect any special rewards you may be interested in. There are several weekly quests that you can pick up at the Celebration event grounds just outside of the Caverns of Time. Most of these will give you a box that rewards you with a piece of champion gear for the first one opened, and then every other one will reward you with veteran gear for the rest of the week. I mostly just get one of these weekly quests done for the piece of champion gear, as it is a higher item level than most other easy weekly rewards. You can do the others if you can still benefit from the veteran gear, if you want these celebration tokens, or if you need some extra valor stones or carved crests, but I usually only do one of these weekly quests to save some time. It's going to be faster to use the new catch-up gear vendor on the Siren Isle if you still need veteran gear to fill out your gear slots. Now, there is one weekly quest here that does not share its reward with the others, and that is the Event Raid weekly quest. This is the one that asks you to venture into Blackrock Depths and kill the last boss. That reward will always be a piece of normal raid gear from the raid itself, so it can be anywhere from item level 597 to 606 champion gear, and there are some very interesting items that you can get as well, so I always try and complete this weekly quest if I'm interested in gearing up a character. A very quick and easy way to complete this quest is to just join the last wing of the raid on LFR mode. You only have to kill 2 bosses, you might get some more gear along the way, you'll pick up some valor stones and crests, and the weekly quest will always yield that piece of champion gear. So it's a good time investment if you can still benefit from the champion gear. If you're clearing through LFR every week, even if it's just the last wing, you should also be collecting these time-warped relic coffer keys. You can trade 40 of these keys in for any item of your choice from the Raider LFR item levels. So you can pick up some extra item level 584 pieces of gear as well if you need to fill in some gaps. These vendors are located right next to the weekly quest for the raid, so it's super easy to find. It's worth noting that the normal and heroic versions of the raid also drop these keys, and you can trade them in for normal and heroic item levels of the same gear at nearby vendors, so if you do happen to venture into the Blackrock Depths raid on those higher difficulties, don't forget to spend your keys for some free loot. And then you can still do all of the other Khaz Algar weekly activities as well, including the important weekly quests in Dornagal that reward you with pinnacle caches, as well as the zone events like Theatre Troop. Only the first 2 caches that you get are going to reward you with gear, and it is on the low side at this point. They're only veteran pieces of gear, so they're probably not super worth your time for the gear specifically. The Siren Isle is going to be a much faster source of veteran gear in every way, and you can pick and choose which items you buy, which makes it even better. Now, the world bosses of Khaz Algar can still drop item level 603 champion gear, so they're still a great option if you need some extra pieces of gear. Any champion gear that you do manage to get your hands on can be upgraded up to 606 using carved crests, and then if you manage to get some rune crests later on, either by taking part in harder content or by using the weekly vault tokens, you can upgrade it up to item level 619. So there is a bit more upgrade potential on any champion gear that you pick up. All of these weekly activities also reward you with celebration tokens for the anniversary event, so they're a great way to earn some extra rewards as well. The caches are also a great source of coffer keys if you want to jump into delves later on for some better gearing options. Most weekly activities will also reward you with carved crests to facilitate your upgrades, and you'll be collecting valor stones almost no matter what content you take part in. Now, if you're completing weekly quests or killing bosses in LFR or running any dungeons, you're going to come across a lot of these fractured Spark of Omens. Now that we're towards the end of the season, you can get a lot of these, and you can combine 2 fractured sparks together with 250 Valor Stones to create a Spark of Omens. You can then use this spark to get some high item level gear crafted. You can craft it by yourself if you have the professions, or you can just pop by the crafting order clerks to create a crafting order. If you're creating a crafting order, it's important to note that you cannot specify a rank or quality for your craft unless you are sending a private or a guild order. So I would always encourage you to find someone in trade chat to make your items before sending any orders out. I would also encourage anyone who is interested in gearing up in general to invest some time into your own professions so you can craft your own rank 5 items for yourself. It doesn't take very much effort or time as long as you put your points in the right place. You also only have to set up your professions once, so my paladin right now will be able to make rank 5 best in slot weapons for the rest of this expansion, and I don't have to put any more effort into that character's blacksmithing if I don't want to. Just some food for thought. If you're able to get rank 5 items made, every Spark of Omen you collect can be turned into item level 606 gear, and you don't need any extra crests or Valor Stones to get that gear made. Just buy the materials from the auction house. Because you're getting the gear crafted, you also get to choose which gear slots you fill with this crafted gear and what stats that gear has, so you can either pick the most impactful items for your class like weapons, or just fill in your low item level gaps to increase your overall item level. A misconception that I see a lot of people make is that you can equip as many pieces of this crafted gear as you want as long as it's not embellished. Only embellishments have a limit of 2 pieces of gear equipped at any one time, but gear crafted with an Omen Spark doesn't have any limits whatsoever. You can make your entire set of gear out of crafted gear if you really want to. If you end up getting into higher difficulties of content that reward runed or gilded crests, all of this crafted gear can also then be upgraded all the way to item level 636, so it also has some huge upgrade potential as well. So the Siren Isle is going to give you an option to quickly get some decent gear to start out. There are several options in here for easy champion gear for an extra boost, and then you can craft a whole bunch of high item level gear as well. All of these options together will give you a very good baseline item level to then jump into other activities if you're wanting to pursue higher item level gear, like Mythic plus Dungeons, which were just nerfed and will drop a lot more crests when compared to before this patch. You can jump into Delves if you want to keep things solo friendly, and they're still going to reward you with up to item level 616 loot from your weekly vault if you can complete +8. Or you can try your hand at the Nerebar Palace raid now that we have access to a pretty sizable damage and healing buff. The new gearing options are definitely towards the lower end of the season's potential gearing path, so if you want to get higher item level loot, you are still going to have to jump into that difficult group content. Perhaps the most important bottleneck you're going to run into if you're trying to gear up a bit more is acquiring Runed Crests. Runed Crests allow you to upgrade any champion gear up to item level 619, and they allow you to upgrade your crafted gear to 619 by using the enchanted Runed Crests. There are 3 main ways that you can get Runed Crests without jumping into any group content. The first is going to be from running higher level delves. Completing tier 8 or higher delves will reward you with 2 Runed Crests per run. Not great, but it's still better than nothing. The second way is by using your weekly vault. All you need to do is get 3 reward unlocks in your vault, so you'll automatically get this done if you're doing a bunch of open world content and weekly quests, if you're running delves, or if you're hopping into LFR for a couple of boss kills. There are so many ways to fill up your vault nowadays, and a lot of it is solo player friendly. So grab 3 rewards however you can, and then when reset day rolls around, you can choose the currency at the bottom if none of the rewards are a good gear upgrade. You'll get 2 tokens per reward option unlocked up to a max of 6 per week, so you can get 6 tokens per week, and you can trade them in at the vendor right next to the vault for 15 Runed Crests per 2 tokens, or 45 Runed Crests if you trade in 6 tokens, so that's an easy 45 Runed Crests per week that everyone can get, which will fuel a handful of upgrades and let you slowly but surely work your way up to item level 619. And then when you get up to item level 606 in every slot, you will also get the Harbinger of the Carved achievement, which will allow you to trade up your carved crests at the gear upgrade vendors in Dornagal. You can trade 45 carved crests up into 15 runed crests, which isn't too bad. That's only a ratio of 3 to 1. If you keep doing the weekly quests, or you end up doing other content like delves or dungeons that reward you with carved crests, they aren't actually useless even if you can't use them to upgrade gear anymore. You can just trade them up to runed crests and keep going with your gearing adventures. Now, if you're okay hopping into some group content, you can get runed crests from running +4 to +7 mythic plus keys. The higher the key you run, the more crests you will get. Failing your timer on a key now also rewards you with more crests when compared to before, so even if you aren't timing your keys reliably, you can still get a lot of crests by running dungeons. The Nerubar Palace raid and the Blackrock Depths raid will both drop runed crests on heroic mode, so if you fancy a challenge, that may be something to try to get into. The Nerubar Palace has a pretty large damage and healing bonus buff right now, so the more bosses you kill, the easier the entire raid will become. But if you just want to chill and wait for patch 11.1 and season 2 to roll around, that is perfectly fine too. The easy stuff in this video can get you up to item level 606, which will be more than enough to start your season 2 adventures, work through the story quests, and then you can chase the higher item level rewards from delves, dungeons, and raids in the new season. Just make sure you get your Circe Circlet ring at the very least, get the good gems for your class and spec, and upgrade your ring as the weeks go by. That ring will be super powerful in season 2, and you don't want to have to come back to the island and get it when everyone else is off enjoying the new zones and stuff in patch 11.1. But that's how you can get up to item level 619 quickly in patch 1107, so that's it for this video. What are you going to be working on as season 1 comes to a close, and what are you most looking forward to in season 2? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.